This is a live look at the Life Care Center, which has been hit so hard by the coronavirus outbreak. Tonight, we know that at least 31 residents who are still living at the Kirkland facility have tested positive for COVID-19. Families have been demanding that those tests be given to every resident there after 19 deaths from COVID-19 were linked to the Life Care Center.
The first round of results came back late this afternoon, and tomorrow, Governor Inslee plans to announce a new directive for nursing facilities in our state. The latest numbers from the health department show there are 162 coronavirus cases statewide, which may or may not include the new cases from Life Care. The department also confirmed 22 deaths, but tonight, Overlake Hospital in Bellevue reported a 23rd death that still needs to be reported to the state.
We have live team coverage tonight as we continue with our mission to help you plan, not panic, as this outbreak evolves. KOMO's Tammy Mutasa is live in Kirkland with more on what's next for the Life Care residents. Tammy?
Well, Eric, those numbers are just staggering. And right now, those people who tested positive for COVID-19 are here at this facility as we speak. And that's why one woman who lost her mom last week says testing is so critical and should have been happening sooner.
There was a wave coming with this, and we didn't catch it until it was crashing on our shore here. It's too late in a lot of ways.
As the number of people with COVID-19 keeps going up inside the Life Care Center, Pat Herrick is recounting the chaos and confusion during the last few days of her mom's life in quarantine. She got a call her mom passed away, then another saying she was okay.
That's the part that is so hard for all of us, is not being able to communicate, not being able to get in there with her feeling isolated in that room and not having the communication.
Pat says she's relieved officials announced test results families have been waiting for. She wants her mom's body tested for coronavirus after her mom died after being confined with a roommate who was coughing for days.
The whole issue of testing was a huge one, and it still is for a lot of these families. All mom's friends have passed in this past week.
Officials say 31 out of 35 tests came back positive for COVID-19. One is negative. They're still waiting for 20 test results. The folks who've tested positive will stay on site at the nursing facility for now.
Once symptoms hit a level of acute where we feel we can no longer treat them, then we will transfer them to hospital.
Pat is also concerned about the staff testing.
Especially with this quarantine, I think they were way overworked, understaffed.
And back out here live, officials say employees could get that test off-site, but that hasn't been finalized. And the people who tested negative will be moved to a smaller wing here at this facility, but that's also in the process of getting set up, we're told. Back to you.
Tammy, thank you. Tomorrow we expect to get an update on a Stanwood long-term care facility after a resident there tested positive in the hospital. The Snohomish Health District says the woman in her 70s was living at the Josephine Caring Community. Josephine says there are currently no confirmed cases within their building, but they're no longer allowing visitors and group activities have been suspended. An employee at Boeing's Everett facility tested positive and is now in quarantine. Boeing says anyone who worked closely with the patient is also being asked to quarantine at home. The Snohomish School District is closing every school tomorrow after a transportation worker tested positive. The district says the facility needs to be cleaned, and that will disrupt bus service. In the Tacoma School District, 4 schools are linked with people with positive results. Sheridan Elementary and Lowell Elementary are closed the rest of the week. Wilson High School is closed tomorrow, and Mary Lyon Elementary will reopen on Friday. In the Mukilteo District, Challenger Elementary is closed Tuesday and Wednesday.
Some local businesses are closing temporarily. They say they simply can't get enough customers through the door since the outbreak started. KOMO's Joel Marino is live to tell us about some help that's in the works for some of those hard-hit stores and shops. Joel?
This is a hardship for many, Eric. Blue Acre Seafood, it is shut tight tonight. The owners posted this right over here at the entryway. It says temporarily closed due to the social and economic effects of coronavirus. And there are lots of small businesses hurting just as badly.
You need to get this while I have it.
Sales have become sporadic at Champion Wine Cellars in Greenwood.
We haven't been that slow since we first opened in 2017.
Co-owner Aaron Lyman says problems started with the trade war wine tariffs, then took a nosedive when the first U.S. COVID-19 death was announced in Kirkland.
From what we've seen anyway, a lot of people have been staying home to not be out in public.
There's little assistance out there for small businesses in this situation. Seattle plans to to help with utility payments and offer extensions to pay city taxes. The State Department of Revenue can also delay collection of business taxes, set up payment plans, and waive late fees. In the private sector, banks are standing by with loans and lines of credit.
We're in the community for a reason, and if our businesses need some help during an event like this, we need to step up, and you will see that happen.
Any little bit helps, you know.
Yeah, all this does not provide much short-term relief, and as of right now, there is very little help out there for the workers. However, the governor is expected to address these concerns sometime tomorrow. Back to you.
Thank you, Joel. Right now, stock futures are up after President Trump promised new economic relief measures, including a payroll tax cut and help for hourly workers. Uncertainty about the coronavirus and a battle over oil prices sent stocks into free fall today, triggering the first automatic trading halt in more than 2 decades. The Dow Jones lost more than 2,000 points. It's down nearly 8%. A financial advisor we spoke with says to stay calm because history shows the market will eventually recover.
After nearly 5 days of floating around off the coast of California, the Grand Princess cruise ship is finally docked in Oakland, and tonight officials are still in the process of getting passengers off that ship. 2 passengers and 19 crew members tested positive for COVID-19. The governor of California said it could take 3 days or even longer to get all the passengers off. Travelers will then be sent to 4 military bases in the U.S. for testing. The 1,100 crew members will return to sea on the Grand Princess to quarantine on board.
Turning now to a live look at the cruise hub on the Seattle waterfront. The first ships are supposed to arrive April 1st, including the Grand Princess. But some people planning getaways in Seattle are worried about their vacation plans. We spoke to a couple who booked an Alaska cruise at the end of May. They say with the spread of the virus, they're unsure if the trip will go as planned.
What worries me even more is the idea of not being able to get off the ship when it's scheduled to disembark, and then also the possibility of being sent to quarantine.
A Port of Seattle spokesperson says they are exploring all options. They're also cleaning and sanitizing areas. In a statement over the weekend, the Cruise Lines International Association said they plan on doing more to protect guests, like having stricter boarding procedures and adding more medical resources on ships. The CDC is recommending that older adults avoid crowds, cruises, and long plane rides. The agency says the risk of infection starts to increase at age 60, and the highest risk is in people over 80.
The entire country of Italy is now on lockdown. The prime minister is taking the drastic step to control the spread of the virus. 60 million people have been told not to travel unless it's for necessary work or health care. Public gatherings are banned and schools are closed through early April. Italy has the most cases of coronavirus and the most deaths outside of China. And that brings us to our poll question tonight. We're asking if you've changed any of your travel plans due to COVID-19. So far, 35% of you say yes, you have. 48% say no, and 17% say they're thinking about changing some plans. You can still vote by going to our Como News Twitter page. We've been checking the feeds coming in. The Bellevue Police Department has decided to close 2 of its substations to protect officers, volunteers, and the community during the current outbreak. Bellevue Police tweeted this afternoon that they closed their Factoria and Crossroads substations until further notice. The department says most of their volunteers are in high-risk groups, so they told them to stay home and protect themselves. The department is asking anyone who calls 911 to disclose if they have symptoms so that first responders can take precautions.
The need for COVID-19 test kits is still great in our area. The University of Washington opened up this drive-through testing site for its UW Medicine employees at its Northwest campus, and they may extend testing to students and first responders down the road. Infectious disease Dr. Seth Cohen says the drive-through model of testing could reduce the risk of contamination.
Once they're done with the test, they put it in the specimen collection kit, bag it, and then they change all of their personal protective equipment and wash their hands.
UW Medicine completed 500 tests on Sunday alone, with the capacity for more. They also said licensed medical practitioners from anywhere in the country can order their tests.
Today, the North Shore School District started holding online classes for students at all 33 of the district's schools. The transition is something that both parents and the kids have to get used to.
At first, I thought it was easier because she doesn't have to talk us through it and people raising their hands and asking questions and stuff, but actually it's pretty hard.
It's been overwhelming. I mean, it is a lot. It's a lot to understand kind of, what's expected, what's needed.
In spite of the learning curve, Mom Jenny Scounsel says she supports the shift to online learning, and attendance is up. The district says it only had a 2% absence rate compared to the 20% last week when kids were still in class.
Seattle band Pearl Jam is postponing the first leg of their North American tour because of the outbreak. The band took to Twitter tonight saying the decision was made with consideration toward the safety and well-being of their fans. They say they want the rest of the country to avoid what the Seattle area is going through. Ticketmaster will be in touch with those who have already purchased tickets.